Thank you for joining us on BBC Sport Africa, coming to you from Doha, Qatar, hosts of the 17th edition of the World Athletics Championships, which end on Sunday. Nearly 2,000 athletes have been trying to win a gold medal, something which Eliud Kipchoge achieved when he was just 18 in the 5,000 meters. Now, 34, Kipchoge is chasing a different kind of glory, trying to become the first man to run a marathon in under 2 hours. An attempt he will make on the 12th October in Austria, as Lin Washira reports.
I keep on doing things which all human beings think they're impossible. Reason is that I always say no human is limited. It's about making history. You want to see the first human being making history. It's like the first person to land in the moon.
On Saturday, 12th October, Eliud Kipchoge will try to do what no man has ever done before: run a marathon in under 2 hours. He first tried in 2017 in Monza, Italy, missing out by less than half a minute.
For now, the world is 26 seconds away. But soon in October, it will happen that my marathon will be run under 2 hours.
Kipchoge will have elements that are the same as last time: constantly changing pacemakers and special footwear. So what is different this time around to allow the Kenyan such confidence?
The course is actually pretty good. It's a straight of 4.4 kilometers. One lap is 9.6 kilometers. Very flat, very conducive environment. All around with a lot of crowd actually watching and actually witnessing the history being made.
The course also has few corners. 90% of it is straight. It's also crucially in the organizers' eyes less humid than Monza, so allowing Kipchoge to better regulate his body temperature. But there's another key aspect. The 2017 challenge was sparsely attended, and the desire for large crowds to line the route was high up on Kipchoge's wish list, with the Kenyan thriving among large crowds.
I think there will be actually thousands of spectators that day. When you have spectators, actually they are pushing you spiritually in another way, and they have their own percentage when you are running. So it's good to have spectators who pushes you in a positive way.
But for the 1 hour, 59 minutes to be achieved, all the conditions will need to be perfect during the 12th October event in Vienna, Austria. Welcome to Global Sports Training Camp, some 300 kilometers away from Kenya's capital, Nairobi. This is a sanctuary where Eliud Kipchoge spends 6 out of 7 days every week.
Compared to what was in 2017, a lot of changes have occurred. He has grown much physically fitter. He's right now in the best shape that he could ever be, physically and everything.
What we have actually injected this year is exercises, and we believe the exercises will give us a small percentage.
In the training program, we have included exercise programs to strengthen him up, make up for the deficits that were in 2017, and I think we are almost there. We could not be any better prepared than we are right now.
It may sound simplistic, but the fact that the 34-year-old has done it before is set to make a big difference.
In Monza, I was like a boxer going to the ring and he doesn't know what happened in the ring. Either will be knocked down or you will be successful. But this time, I'm going to Vienna, knowing what I will be doing. I believe I can run under 2 hours. Reason is that I have tried before, 2 years ago. It's really heavy, but this is making history. And this is not competition. It's not about winning, but it's about making history and leaving legacy in this world. And I know I'll get it.
For many Kenyans, Eliud's quest is almost a national event. And with me today here at the Media Center at the World Athletics Championships is someone who has followed Eliud's career from his track running days. Evelyn Wata, welcome to BBC Sport Africa.
Thank you for having me, Celestine.
First, do you think he can run under 2 hours?
I think for now, the only question is which 159 will he run? It's not whether he can go below 2 hours.
What makes you so confident?
Because I've had a chance to speak to Eliud twice in the last 1 month, and I've never had Eliud sound so confident. Even prior to the Olympics in Rio, we knew that he was a favorite for the gold medal in Rio, but then he had some doubts. He never really comes out and says, I'm going for it. He says, I'm in my best shape and I will give my best. But what we've heard of Eliud in the last 1 month is, I'm going to make history. I want to be like the first man to step in the moon. Then that tells you that he's on a different level in terms of his preparations, his training, and even his mental state.
Kenya has produced its share of good distance runners, but what is it about Eliud that makes him stand out from the crowd?
I think Eliud is a GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. I think to be the first man to run under 2 hours in the marathon will make him the only one. And I think he deserves that title because he has the world title, he has an Olympic title, he has a world marathon record holder title. So what else does he need? He needs to be the one.
And like most Kenyan athletes, he probably has just a deep love for running.
I remember Haile Gebrselassie used to have a smile, but I've never seen a genuine smile of an athlete after 40 kilometers, he's smiling to the finish line. That's what I've always seen on Eliud. And it's not smiling because he's smiling or breathing in pain, no. It's a genuine smile. He's enjoying what he's doing. And probably if they were to extend the course to go to 50, he will still go on. So you can actually see that he's passionate about what he's doing, he's enjoying what he's doing, and he really wants to share the passion.
Just how significant a feat do you think it will be should he manage it?
It's going to influence and it's going to inspire another generation of runners because now everyone will want to be the greatest. Will want to be like Eliud.
Well, Evelyn, we'll be speaking to you a little bit later in the show. But now let's talk some basketball. African representation in the NBA is growing. One of the latest entrants is 23-year-old Taco Fall, who in July signed for the Boston Celtics. They are the most successful franchise in NBA history. Expectations are high around the Senegalese, mainly due to his height, standing at 2.3 meters tall. Babakar Diarra went to meet one of the world's tallest men.
Last season, during the university basketball season in the US, Taco Fall challenged the rising star and 2019's NBA draft first pick Zion Williamson. But now for the 20-year-old center, it's time to take on great stars like LeBron James or Stephen Curry. You can hardly miss his height. Standing at 7'5", he could become the tallest player in the league. And from my little 6'2", I try to understand what life is like from above.
Personally, I love my height. It's tough to find clothes or shoes though.
What's your shoe size?
I'm a US 22.
So it must be complicated day to day to find shoes.
It's so hard, even online.
Even in the US?
Even in the US. I think I know only one person who wears the same shoe size. Mutombo.
To dip your toes in the NBA, how are you feeling?
It's a dream come true. I started basketball when I was 16, a bit late. When I went to the US, I had many opportunities there. Many people helped me continue developing, especially at the University of Central Florida. I worked so much to get this opportunity to play in the NBA. So right now, I'm dreaming.
I heard that when you were young, basketball wasn't really your thing. Is it a true story?
I wasn't really aware of what basketball was actually. In fact, when I was a kid, I just wanted to watch cartoons after school. There was a time during the African Cup where me and my grandma, who watches basketball, would have chats because I wanted to watch my cartoons and there was only one TV. She wanted to watch the African Cup. That's the little story. I didn't know much about basketball. I used to watch football and play when I was young. And like I said, at 16, I started playing. Now basketball is my life. If I don't play for one day, it drives me crazy.
Young, in Senegal, was your size already out of the ordinary?
Yes, I think when I left I was around 7 feet.
At which age?
I was 16.
So you went to the US as a teenager. How did it happen? Because we can say that your first steps as a basketball player in a club were in the US.
Yes, at the beginning it was hard. It wasn't easy at all. As a youngster, I was tall, but I was very young. I didn't know how to play basketball. I had many things to learn. I was lucky. Many people helped me, developed me.
And to be the tallest guy in the NBA.
Right now.
Right now, it's obviously something that will draw attention. Do you feel like after the Summer League and now with the season ahead, you will be the center of attention?
But I've always been center of attention since I came to the US. It is just that now more people react when they see me like, oh, it's Taco. For me, I will say it in English.
I feel blessed.
I always say that.
You are blessed?
I feel blessed. I'm just a little kid from Senegal. I barely started playing basketball 6 years ago. God truly blessed me.
On the court, when you grab rebounds, when you dunk, do you feel like it's easier for you than others?
Of course, because I don't need to jump high, even if sometimes I have to jump a little.
Now, what's your goal? You are a rookie, your minutes may be limited, but what's your target for the season?
For me, it is just to continue my development. Like you said, I still have many things to learn. For me, that's the goal, to keep developing myself. And when I'm on the court, try to dominate and do my job. That's all.
I am definitely looking forward to seeing him in the NBA. Time now for a break. When we return, we take you inside one of Kenya's prisons, which is using rugby to try to change lives. This is Sport Africa from the BBC. Welcome back to BBC Sport Africa. I'm Celestine in Doha, Qatar, the host for this year's World Athletics Championships, and in 2022, a bigger tournament, the FIFA World Cup. That World Cup is still 3 years away, but in Japan, another World Cup is underway, rugby, where 20 teams are competing. Kenya failed to qualify for the tournament, but the sport is quite popular in the country. And in a bid to rehabilitate some of the country's citizens, it's even found its way into prisons. This is an initiative of a group called Espanatos Africa, which helped the BBC gain exclusive access to the country's Committee Maximum Security Prison.
I used to be lonely, so lonely. So when rugby came, now I found love and I felt so sweet, Prison has been like a second home to me since I've been here. I'm Daniel Omondi and I'm 30. I came here in 2009. It happened that I'd purchased something, but it came from a robbery. So like it was handling a stolen property. They charged me with that robbery because it seems that I had knowledge of the robbery. So I was taken to death penalty. That was around now 2010. I took an appeal and now the sentence was remitted back to 13 years in prison. For the Mighty Zebra, I'm the captain. I remember it was a Saturday, we were playing a football match here. Our coach, that happens to be the coach for football, told me, okay, they were having plan for rugby, and he told me to mobilize people. The name Mighty Zebra has connection with the crew, because if you check at this uniform, this one is like a zebra.
Sports really play a very integral part in our rehabilitation program. So if they are well rehabilitated, if we equip them with skills which can enable them to go back to the society and earn honest living, then we will have discharged our mandate.
You know, when we play rugby, being in prison vanishes. You don't remember you are in prison. You just, in another world, you're having fun. So if you're having kind of some sorrows before you came to the pitch, the stress vanishes before you come. This game, it involves power, strength, and physical ability. So it has given me that self-esteem in terms that I can believe in myself. Even my mom the other day visited and told me, okay, you are shaping up. And I told her, yeah, this is rugby.
I don't coach them any less than I'd coach the Simbas or the Kenya under-20 side. And they have responded in kind by actually giving their full commitment. It's also humbling to me that you mean people who we look at and think that they have no future can actually commit to an ideal that's much bigger.
It teaches you to be a disciplined person, somebody that somebody can rely on. It brings hope in people here.
We have seen that rugby players have really exhibited a lot of behavioral change. So they have learned values of self-discipline, teamwork, caring for each other. They are actually role models. A number of them have already been discharged from prison, and some are also definitely going to be discharged because of their good behaviors.
My wish or my dream for the team is that this team will help prisoners to realize that sport is a way of life and rugby can earn you a genuine living. You don't have to steal, you don't have to kill someone for a few pennies.
So I'm still here with Evelyn Wata. Evelyn, we're seeing Kenyan prisons adopting rugby as a means of rehabilitating prisoners, but it's not the only sport, is it?
We've seen football being played amongst inmates in Kenyan prisons. I remember one time I went to Senegal and I found juveniles practicing fencing. So it is very good that now Kenyan prisons and other prisons around Africa are turning to sports to reform their prisoners.
Qatar will host the 2022 FIFA World Cup. And since you've arrived here for the World Athletics Championships, what kind of World Cup do you think it will be with what you've seen so far?
It will be different. Certainly it will be a different sort of World Cup. But then I think from around the streets, you can see the amount of construction that is going on. So one thing that you're sure about is that we will have the best facilities. We will have a World Cup like no other. And they want to show another side of Qatar that the world has not really seen.
And these World Athletics Championships being the first in the Middle East, how much of a dress rehearsal do you think is this event for the FIFA World Cup to come?
I think for them it is a dress rehearsal because they have the security aspect of this, the logistics. We've even seen now they have a metro station. So I know they're going to encourage some of the fans to use these facilities, especially the transport, to test their readiness for the World Cup. So it's in every aspect, it is a dress rehearsal for the World Cup because this is a single sport event. So it's time for them to see how it works for a single sport where everyone comes to the same venue or everyone goes to a different stadium on a certain date. So I think in every aspect it is a dress rehearsal because they have they're able to test the security arrangement, the transport arrangement, the movements of the cars, which we know can be a bit daunting in Qatar with the traffic buildup.
Well, thank you, Evelyn, for your insights. You've been a great company today. Now, he taught himself how to throw the javelin on YouTube, and he has a world title to show for it. But how much does Julius Yego know about sport? Well, we pit the Kenyan against the clock in our quiz armchair expert. Let's see how he gets on.
My name is Julius Yego, former world champion in javelin. Of course, in anything you do, you want to do your best, and yeah, that's it.
Which city is hosting the 2019 World Athletics Championships?
Doha.
Correct. Name the athlete who won both 100 meters and 200 meters, the 2019 Diamond League trophies.
Noah Lyles.
Correct. Which name will replace IAAF?
Athletics.
World Athletics.
World Athletics.
Correct. Yes. Name the female athlete who won the 2017 3,000 meters steeplechase gold medal in London.
Makule, something like that.
Emma Kobandro.
Yeah.
What does Paul Teraga, Tyler Gebrselassie, Patrick Macau, Dennis Kimeto, and Wilson Kipsang have in common?
They are former world record holders in marathon.
Correct. Who is the reigning long jump world champion?
Richard Thaler,
Luvo Mayongo. What is the nationality of sprinter Blessing Okabare?
Nigerian.
Correct. Who is the defending 5,000 meters world champion?
Kechelcha. No, Mo Farah.
Idris. Who is the current 400 meters world record?
Farnika.
Correct. From which country is Mare Jose Talu?
Ivory Coast.
Correct. Diego, and your time ends now. Diego, you've gotten 7 questions out of 10.
Wow, thank you. See you in Doha.
Seven out of 10. Not a bad score, but let's see where that puts him in our leaderboard. Sports careers are not usually very long. In fact, by the time they are 40, most sportsmen have retired. So imagine being addicted to your sport such that you are still competing when you are double that age. Well, that's exactly what Calvin Fortune, the oldest competitive bodybuilder in South Africa, is doing. Check this out.
I'll train till I die. That's my passion. I'm very fond of bodybuilding. I started bodybuilding when I was 14 years old. It was my dream to become strong. I do a full body workout for 3 hours a day, for 5 days a week. When I'm on stage, most people can't believe at this age you still got muscle to show to the audience, you know. My sons, they grew up with body in the gym, and in 1983, it was the first time that father and son win the titles. When I'm on stage, it's a feeling that I can't describe. Most of the guys, they compete just over 50. There they stop. I keep them out of the streets, out of the wrongdoings, you know. Most of the guys, they indulge in drugs, alcohol, and in fights, street fights.
Calvin is really our community legend. He's really a role model, a true role model on which all the youths of the community can look up to. A true inspiration for everybody, anybody who is his age can look at him and admire him for his achievements and all of his true works that he's done.
Bodybuilding keeps me healthy and keeps me strong, because I know most guys of my age, they can't even walk. I train with the same weight that I trained 50 years ago. I'm still strong. Now, age is a matter of mind. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter.
How amazing. And that's it for the show this week. Remember, you can always reach us on social media, and the BBC Sport Africa website has more sports stories for you. I'm Celestine Karoney in Doha, Qatar. Let's do this again next time. Goodbye.